And this fills in a huge space that has been empty inside of so many people for so long. I mean, kids, like, they need this, and everyone who has kids realizes that.
All right, welcome to another episode of Grow Your Grass Off. We are so happy to have these wonderful guests with us today, Ricky and his brother Will. They are wonderful installers of food forests all over the states. And so welcome to the show. We're so happy to have you here and would love for you to tell us about your experience, how you guys started, how you've built your business, kind of where you've come from and where you're at.
Yeah. All right, cool. So thank you for having us. This is awesome. We have a lot of respect for what you guys are doing, and kind of the direction that you're taking this in support of the do-it-yourselfer. And this is what it's all about. This is why we got into it as well. And so, yeah, we have a lot of respect for the direction that this is going, and this organization. So thank you. So yeah, a little bit of background on us. We're brothers. He's 8 years younger than me. I'm about to turn 30. We grew up doing irrigation with our father. So my dad owned an irrigation business, and we basically followed him around all of our childhood, and dug holes for him. That's like what we did. We dug holes all the time. Every weekend we were out there digging holes for irrigation systems. But as we grew up, me specifically, after college, going through all of the things that a kid does, and not knowing what I was supposed to do with my life and where I was supposed to take my skills and what direction to go. I just used my the experience that I had, and I joined a landscape distribution company. So I got hired on there, and I was like the irrigation manager for two separate landscape distribution companies. One is Site One Landscape Supply, which is pretty common. And previously it was John Deere Landscape Supply. So I worked in just a warehouse, but we had a counter and stuff as well. And so we had contractors coming in and out. And so I had, as a man who just just got out of college. I didn't graduate. It wasn't my thing. It was cool to interact with kind of like these just real hardworking guys who had a lot of knowledge, and I just observed as much as I could. But as time went on, we were also selling chemicals and fertilizer and all the stuff that I didn't agree with. After college and stuff, I got real into eating organic food, and I just started caring about what was being put in my body, and then becoming more aware of the things that are in the environment and environmental toxins and what's going on with the environment, and just all of these things adding up. And now I was concluding that, yeah, the landscape industry was a huge part of the problem. There's so many different times where I can remember a contractor coming in asking for a mosquito killer, right, thinking that it's just killing mosquitoes. And then pulling up that plant label for him and going, yeah, it's killing thousands of insects. It's not just killing mosquitoes, it's killing beneficial insects that we need. And after explaining that to them, they're like, oh, well, maybe I should get something else. I'm not sure if they did end up getting anything else, because they've been doing that for so long. And that's one of the major problems that another major problem that I recognize in the landscape industry is that they get stuck in their ways, they get stuck in their routine, and then they don't want to break away from that. And then I got depressed on how I was making money, because it was totally not aligned with who I was and what I believed to be right for the environment and health in general. And and it was affecting my life. And then I started listening to like regenerative soil podcasts and regenerative agriculture podcasts, and learning about permaculture and food forests. And I was like, oh my God. And like, and I remember watching one documentary where they were like, if you want to change the world, go plant food forests. And it like hit home for me, and I really resonated with it. And I took a PDC course, and then slowly just like started self-educating myself. This is been going on for like the last 5 to 6 years now. My brother, he can tell you more about like how he got into this realm. Similar story for sure. But then I was in the process of starting my own permaculture design and installation company, and got hooked up with Food Forest Abundance, so that worked out. And now we're creating a name for ourselves. We're developing relationships with like people who are starting farms now, so we're consulting for them on things like that where people have some money in our area, and they got big chunks of land, and they want to do something for their kids, but they don't know how, they don't have the time for it. So we're stepping in to be like consultants for them, maybe eventually managers on these farms as well. We're developing relationships with local conservancy groups as well, so where they get donated land, and then they create easements, and they preserve the native, or they revert it back to what it was, to because a lot of this the farming and stuff has reshaped our land, and they're kind of trying to shape it back to what it was, and getting these riverways back into like adding like miles stretches of these riverways with all these loops and stuff to collect sediment, where all these farmers just cut straight lines and it just runs off into all the lakes around here and stuff. And so just in a short period of time, I went from making money in a way that didn't align with my moral beliefs and my passions. And now we took that leap of faith, and we're like, we're just going to do what we love to do. We're going to make this work. And now all of these really cool opportunities are developing, just within 2 years, really. So yeah, that's a little bit of background. Will can tell you about how he got hooked on this as well, and just we haven't looked back. So
yeah, similar story like what Rick said. But yeah, our older sister is a chiropractor, and so I got introduced into like the holistic realm at a really young age. And then with Ricky doing all his research too, we're just like bouncing ideas off of each other. So I was privy to like the environmental toxins in high school and all that stuff. So after high school, I went to Germany to study the German language in Berlin. And then COVID happened, and then I came home, and then Ricky and I are just, talking about what's going on in the world and how we can, make a positive impact. And permaculture is something that resonated with me so much. And I love being around plants. I love propagating new plants and growing new plants and all that stuff. So it's all right up my alley. And yeah, I just love what I do now at this point. It's awesome. I'm living the dream. So yeah, it's cool. I get to do it with my brother, and yeah.
Yeah, it's fun because like now there's so many opportunities that are developing with around this, because this is becoming um such a necessity, as well as like this is just what people want to do for their kids. This is how they want to live, and it's only going to keep growing. And so there's so many different directions that we can kind of take like our own business. Like Will, for sure, like we're starting our own nursery now. We got like just gifted land on this 500-acre organic beef and dairy farm, and they're like, yeah, just start your nursery here, we're not charging you rent. And so we're like, we're gonna buy a couple greenhouses, we have some hoop houses that aren't set up yet that were just given to us, and we're just gonna create like our own nursery stock that supports our business, and also makes these plants available to maybe people who just can't afford a full food forest right now. And maybe that's where like Grow Your Grass Off steps in for these do-it-yourselfers too, is like yeah, it can be expensive, to install a full food forest, market garden. If you're installing a pond to bring in beneficial insects and create a nice microclimate, like all of these things together. Yeah, if you hire out, it's going to cost you a lot of money, especially when you do it all right away. But if there's this, market, there's this group of people that all want this, that can't afford it. And that's like where we really want to support those people, is like, yeah, we'll grow all these plants. You can come in and you can buy guilds at a time. We'll show you how to plant them. Maybe we have like little events on the property too, where we show people how to install guilds. They can come there, learn from us, and then they can take that knowledge back home with them too. So that, yeah, so many different directions that we can take this in, and we're just blessed to be in a community that's accepting of all of this as well. This organic beef and dairy farm, they also have a country market on there, so it's a little grocery store, organic grocery store. And so they have foot traffic of people, like the community's there. They have a butcher shop that they're creating on the property as well. And so to have our nursery there is just, and to have it rent free is, we're really grateful for the opportunity.
That's so amazing. I hadn't heard that. You hadn't told me that. That's new news to me. So that
It's
is,
new. It's all happening right now. So
I
yeah,
love it. That's like a
process.
dream. That's like a
Yeah,
dream true for you. And
right.
is it close and local?
Yeah, it's I mean, from where I am, it's 30 minutes north of me, but where Will is, it's like 15 minutes north of him. So it's super close to us, and we go out there to shop and we get raw milk there.
Such a dream.
And yeah, it's a really cool little community, and it's a little bit, it's in farm country, so
Okay.
but it's really cool because they've been an strictly organic farm for so long. And they're on the highest point in this area too, so they don't have runoff from other farms. So it's a really beautiful area, and yeah, we're lucky to be a part of
Yeah,
it.
I love it. That is so cool.
Yeah.
Wow. When is that going to start? Soon?
Yeah, no, I mean, as soon as the ground thaws out, we're going after it.
Right.
So yeah, I think we're supposed to get some snow today. It warmed up a little bit the past few days. It was like 45 or something during the day, but still cold at night. And yeah, we're anxious to get going. We were also in California doing some installs over the
Yeah.
winter, and so we didn't stop working all year, which was cool. Like, um, we got a lot of experience, going to a place that we could plant mango trees and avocados, and something that we just can't do up here, which we really wanted the opportunity to be able to do that, and made some really cool connections there with some really just very interesting, unique people. And it was cool to do it there. But we love Wisconsin, and we'll never leave. So
Except for in the winter.
yeah,
When you
exactly.
go your California business. Yeah,
Yeah,
tell us a little bit about that. Just how many installs did you guys and like how long were you gone? I
yeah,
know a little bit about it, but maybe just share a little bit of how you would do an install on the road, you know? Like
yeah. It
what,
was not easy, it was there was some things, unforeseen things along the way, where it was just like, I mean, like we had van trouble, so I had to get my transmission fixed on our van. We so yeah, just to start in the beginning, we left here late November. It just, the ground froze, and you helped us up, link these jobs. So we took our trailer, we took our van, and we drove across the country. We hit some storms along the way. I have a 16-foot landscape trailer, so it was interesting trying to get
ice?
out there. Yeah, the way back was great, but out there, it was sketchy. And yeah, we got to California. We started in Palm Desert, and we did a total of 4 jobs, right? And then
Yeah,
Erasmus 5. Oh, okay. So yeah,
yeah,
and then one other one that was kind of like on the side as well. And yeah, just the whole process of you know not having a home base. I think if we were to do it again, we would need a home base there, where it would be like a short-term rental or something. as opposed to like trying to bounce around between Airbnbs and stuff. So we were there basically all of December until Christmas. And we were there, it was just me, Will, and then our buddy Adam, who's a huge part of our install business as well. He's just when we're not installing, he's off in his own world doing something else. He's probably painting right now. So yeah, we did a lot of research going out there. So we knew that, yeah, we had the first job in Palm Desert, and so yeah, we were contacting nurseries on the way out there, contacting, landscape supply places to get material, trying to find, talk to garden supply places to find good compost. Yeah, we're in a completely new area now. We have no, connections. And the first thing that we did when we got there was, when we were on the phone talking to these people, we're like, oh, okay, we're looking at their website. They have good vocabulary. We like kind of like what they're talking about on their website. So we'll go and we'll check these nurseries out. And then when we're there, we're also having like really like in-depth conversations with them about, yeah, what really works here, what doesn't, like having these conversations with a local guy or girl who has the experience there, who knows what works, what doesn't. We get designs for, especially for these jobs in California. We got the designs from Food Forest Abundance, and they do a great job on their designs. But we do like want to double check things. You know what I mean? We want to make sure that we're talking to that local person. One time I think we had a design, and there was, I forget what was in the plan, what type of tree exactly, but he's like, no, there's just no way. Like people try that all the time, it just doesn't work. And so we took the advice and we talked to the client, and we're like, hey, do you want to make a swap? We don't have a lot of success here in your exact bioregion with this plant. There's a lot of people who've tried and it doesn't work. And so yeah, really like having these conversations. We had some free time to go do this. I obviously, so I have 3 kids, and my wife stayed home for the first half of this trip. And so, not having kids running around, there's a lot of free time for us. And so we spent that free time doing the research and looking for all these places. And yeah, we ended up having really good installs, and we did it the right way. Going down there, I did expect like the irrigation to be different than what was up in Wisconsin. That was a weird shift. There's a lot of waste going on in California in terms of like the irrigation setups that are happening there. They use a lot of the micro spray or the microjet like drip emitters type things, and a lot of those times those will break. And so I can't tell you how many times I saw irrigation systems going off in the middle of the day, like noon, the hottest time of the day, scorching the grass too. And then on top of that, all of these like emitters are like spraying water everywhere. And yeah, so it was interesting to see that. And then too, on top of that, like you drive around, and I keep talking about Palm Desert, that was the first place we were there. But if you drive around downtown Palm Desert, all of their irrigation systems are like basically they're overshooting everything. And so you'll see like a lot of the palm trees have like this like calcification that's on the base of them, and like on the walls it's all like this white calcification, and it's all from overspray. So it's all like this, I see it and I'm like, oh, wasted water, so we did our irrigation system a little different, but it was like within, like if an irrigation guy went there, he could fix it. You know what I mean? So that there's this other problem that happens in the landscape industry. I touched on it a little bit, but contractors get stuck in their ways. A great example of this is in California, where you could be using different material for the piping and stuff, but instead they're like using PVC to run up the sides of mountains, and it's all exposed. It looks like a mess and stuff. And there's all these different materials that you can use, but they don't want to use them there, because if one contractor starts using a different type of material, it does the whole market a disservice, basically, is what they look at it as. And so they don't make like these huge improvements onto like, conserving all of this water, because they're all trying to stay within their, little like world on like what they can use, because if they don't use a certain thing, then and they're done, they don't come back to that property, no irrigation guy would be able to fix that. There's a lack of education, there's a lack of like evolution in terms of like how we do water, our use irrigation. And yeah, it was really crazy just to go there. And you think of California, it's like, oh yeah, they're always conserving, they're trying, they're super environmentally conscious, all this stuff, but you go there and it's just like it's a mess. So it was interesting to see that, eye-opening for sure. And
Yeah.
yeah, that I don't know what else we can touch on in terms of like the actual like install of these places. Every single job that we do is so custom and so different, where you have to be willing to like change. You have to be willing to like, yeah, oh crap, like we have to go to 3 different stores now. So there's a lot of like time involved on the back end, like just even like searching for all this stuff if you're not in your immediate area that you live in. You just don't,
Yeah.
you don't know where to get the best things. So there was a learning curve in that regard. And hopefully, when we go back next, like there's a lot that we've learned from, and that we can change and we can save money this time. And yeah, it was to be expected. And then so after Christmas, we brought out his fiance, and his kid was there, and then my family was there with us as well. And that was cool. Like the kids were, the whole time leading up, when are we going to California? When are we going to California? And it was their first time. Like we left our van and trailer there. We flew back to Wisconsin, and then we all flew out to California and picked up the van and stuff there. And it was their first time like really on a plane. And it was really cool to be able to bring that out there. And one of the reasons why we did bring out our, significant others was because this was like this is a serious thing that we're evaluating. Like, yeah, we want to make sure that this is going to be a fit for us. There's a lot of traveling involved. There's a lot of running around and stuff. And so it was basically like a test run to see, will this work? And it definitely could, if it's just a matter of, figuring out a few different things along the way. And if we're going to spend like months at a time in a different state, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And you've kind of established now, network, friendships, that it's going to be easier next time.
Exactly.
Sure.
Mhm.
Yeah. It's cool.
Yeah, and a lot of other opportunities too, like just like, so one of the projects we did, like he's a real estate agent, so like he buys properties and stuff. And he's got like some other property in California, and is looking to do these sorts of things on his properties because he wants them to be like Airbnb sort of thing. So like there's all these other opportunities that have like just developed and blossomed, which is this is what it's all about, is making all these connections, and then supporting each other, and then seeing where it goes. Like, how can I help you? How can you help me? And just building that network and watching it grow, and just being there for people. Like I'm very responsive. We're very responsive when a client like needs to get a hold of us. We don't leave them on the we don't leave them behind. You don't just put trees in the ground and say, hey, here you go, you're on your own now. And yeah, we're there for them along the entirety of the growth of that system that we put in place. So the relationships last a long time.
I got a question for you, Ricky. It's just basically, you touched on it a little bit earlier, that you see that there's a lot of need and necessity in with the work you're doing. But I'm curious if you can draw any kind of observations and summaries based on what you're noticing out in the field. Like they're interested in this stuff in terms of growing edible landscapes. What do you see people doing? And what do you see based on because for us, we look at the situation with food, and the prices are going higher and so on. What are some observations that you've had there?
Yeah, I think that is a huge aspect to why we're seeing this. We actually just did a presentation for a school district, a large school district near us, for their staff. And so we did this presentation. It was all like health related, basically, and it's a public school system, and so yeah, it was interesting going in there and talking to people, but it was very well received and stuff. So I'm not seeing it just from like, people who are like looking to prepare for, maybe what's coming, or they're just becoming like, I'm seeing it from both sides. Like this it's attractive, you know what I mean? Like when people don't even know about this, it's been suppressed for so long, and so when we just go out and we start talking about it, it's immediately people are like, wow, this is amazing, like why aren't we doing this everywhere? You know what I mean? I don't meet very many people. Of course, there are some people who are like, this is this could never work, blah blah blah. But those are just, you'll get those everywhere, and that those are from both sides. You know what I mean? And um, but I really do see people that are they realize that they don't have a connection to nature, and now that there's communities of people like this, organizations who are solely dedicated to doing these types of things, it gives people inspiration, it gives people hope. They're like, oh my gosh, yeah, now that I have like support, like, yeah, I have all these ideas, I want to start doing these things. And so I think there is like a global awakening happening, and people are they're just realizing that something's missing. And this fills in a huge space that has been empty inside of so many people for so long. I mean, kids, like, they need this, and everyone who has kids realizes that. So I don't know, like I do think I think for me there's a shift in consciousness. There's a global awakening, like people are realizing that we can't keep doing the things that we're doing. And now I do think that this awakening is being manipulated by governments, by corporations, and then they use this to try to create like feuds between us and create like all the separation. They scare us with all these crises that are happening, but really we all want the same thing. We all can agree that this is a solution. This isn't just talking about a problem. We're not just some politician out there that keeps talking about a problem but has no solution. This is a real life solution that could work, and now people are attracted to that, and they realize that because it's the truth. And once the truth is out there and then in the open, it's floating around, we're talking about it now. Other people, little micro farms in the area, they're gaining more traction. Regenerative farming is becoming more and more popular. Like it's a snowball effect, and I think more people are just gravitating towards it, and you're just going to see it explode eventually. And it's fun to be a part of it.
Anything, bruh?
Yeah, I mean, what we're talking about, food forestry, might be the only thing to unite both sides of the political spectrum.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a huge part of it. And it's like for us too, like I'm like sick of like the whole debate, like I'm sick of like creating this, divide between us. Yeah, I am totally accepting of everyone's point of view. I can see the more liberal side of things. I can see the conservative side of things, and like I really like this is, I don't want to get political with this, and I hate getting political with this. It's not for that, but it brings people together. And if we can just like forget about all that nonsense, like, and focus on building these systems, building communities that are centered around nature, and centered around learning about how to live symbiotically with everything around us, just that all that other stuff just goes away, and like I love talking to all different types of people. Diversity is the number one thing in permaculture: diversity, diversity, diversity. And that is what I try to practice in my life too, is like talking to so many different types of people, getting so many different perspectives, learning from so many different types of people, and just trying to create balance, and live in harmony. That's what really like our ultimate goal is. And that's why we do what we do, is because we're aware of the chaotic nature of the society that we live in. It's hard to even like focus and like get things done that you need to get done, and worry about all this money, and just worry about all the things that it just takes to be alive in that system, and slowly just pull away from it, and build communities centered around just living in harmony.
Yeah. We all need food to live, so we all need to grow it and do this together. So
yeah, the food revolution's upon us. I feel it. It's here, and we're ready for it.
we're part of it. Yeah, we're part of it. Well, we're here to help you. Any traffic you get, any people you need, you know how to reach us. I'm so excited for your new venture on your farm. That is amazing. That's like a dream, because you've wanted that. You kind of have a nursery at your place now, but you need your own spot to do what you want and teach.
Yeah, our landlord is just like, because we rent right now, like my wife and I, he's just like, he's so fed up with all the plants around. I mean, like our entire like tiny little like place was just covered in plants last year. And no, it's just nice to have like a fresh start, a new space, and just see where it all goes, and just have a place where people can go to look at these plants, without looking at them online or something. You can actually come in, and you can touch, you can eat some of these plants, before you choose what's in your garden. And just to have a place like that, that was that from the start, that was our dream. It's like, we need this, our community needs this. It doesn't make sense to drive 6 hours to find plants that no other nursery has. So that's what we do for our install business, is we drive 6 hours up north to Bayfield, to this off-grid nursery, to buy a lot of these plants that we can't find at our local nurseries. And so there's a need for it, and I feel like there's a need for it everywhere. So it's hopefully once we get up and rolling, we can then help people who are interested in starting things like this themselves. So all the opportunities. You four are you're the main reason why we're here doing what we're doing. We had so much support from all four of you, and to see all of you in one place now giving that support to other people is like that's a dream come true for me, because it helped me so much. And to see now you're helping other people, like this is what it's all about. Like there's so many cool things that you're about to do, and we're happy to be a part of it.
Thank you. And where can people find, what is the name of your business, and where can they find more about it?
Yeah, so right now we're in the process of starting our LLC for our nursery, and so that's going to be called Earthside Food, Forests, and Nursery. And then we also have we have our cooperative partner business with Food Forest Abundance as well, that we're still going to maintain and keep. And that will just be a kind of like a separate entity. We will like support that business with plants and stuff. But you can find us on Instagram right now. We just have our one Instagram, and that's at foodforests.wi. And then we will be starting another Instagram for Earthside Food, Forest, and Nursery. But that's coming up. Other than that, we're in the process of creating a website. We're doing all the stuff that we need to get ourselves exposed to everyone. So in the process.
Awesome.
Cool. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here.
Appreciate it.
Yep. Have a good one,
guys.
Yep.
Take care.